beautiful soul. Welcome to the Quantum Business Queen podcast. This podcast is a vortex for activating wealth, riches, and boss bitches. It is here that I teach multi-dimensional business. Our content will fall under 3 different categories: 5D quantum creation, 4D frequency alchemy, and the most potent 3D strategy. Every aspect of business that contributes to the creation of success is covered here. Plus, I will be personally interviewing the most amazing boss bitches that are at the forefront of the game, paving the way for money, magic, and magnetism in business. Let's get ready to activate all of that within you. Hello, Angel. Welcome to this week's episode of the Quantum Business Queen podcast. I cannot wait to release all of this goodness to you because you are going to be tapping into more of understanding what it truly feels like to be in quantum flow. And I break down some real specifics around this because honestly, when you start really working with the flow of the universe, things start to become simply magic. Honestly, it's how I've manifested so much just in this year alone. So without further ado, here you go. Guys, welcome to day 2 of the Quantum Flow Challenge. I'm just so honored to have you here with me live. Thank you so much for giving me your time. All right, so we're going to jump straight in today. I'm so excited because understanding this and having all of these shifts by way of awareness, it gets to happen that quick. This is where you're able to anchor into true self-mastery. And there's always different layers of it, right? But this is where you can start to live beyond physicality. This is what true self-mastery is. Because when we can decide and make choices and feel beyond what our physical reality is telling us we should decide and feel and make choices on, this is how we master our reality. But we feel powerless because we look at our physical reality and it's making us feel this and it's having us decide in certain ways that are totally out of alignment. And we're living these lives that feel purposeless. I am so driven by giving you guys these cool tools because this is true freedom. This is true liberation. And when you start to embody them and live as if there is no other truth, this is my version of self-mastery. This is how I've been able to create wildly successful, abundant business, go to Necker Island with Richard Branson, be in LA and these multi-million dollar mansions, chatting to Snoop Dogg on the phone. That's a whole other story. But anyway, have these all crazy, wild experiences that are available for everyone, not just me. And please know I don't say this to brag. I say this because I've experienced some wild and crazy things in my life, and it's only because of these principles that I've embodied. So I say this because I want you to know that I come from embodiment. And I say this all the time. I don't teach you these because I've read them from a book and I'm just regurgitating something else, somebody else's whatever information. Comes from sheer embodiment in my years of working with frequency. So my approach to coaching is multidimensional. My approach to business is multidimensional. Guys, if you're feeling like you're on the hamster wheel or you're stuck or whatever, one of these pieces are missing. It's number 1, understanding the quantum and how the quantum works, which coincides with the laws of the universe. Number 2, it's understanding the frequency and the energy, the energetic bodies. What are the meridians? What are your chakra systems? What are the auras? How does our frequency interact with the universe? How is our frequency dictating what the universe is translating and then showing us back into our experience? And then of course, our beautiful mind, our ego, how do we program it so we can all be in coherence? So if there's something missing, if you're perpetuating the same reality, one of these pieces hasn't quite clicked, and that's okay. Maybe all 3. Maybe all 3. And this is the same with business. So with your business, it's the same thing. Understanding the quantum, understanding the energetics of your business, understanding the energetics of marketing. I can tell when I watch people's content online, whether they're embodied or whether they're not, whether they're just repeating something that you could tell. Energy speaks louder than words, right? And then also business strategy. It's important and I love it. I love it all. So this is my approach to coaching. This is my approach to business. We are multidimensional beings. If you're only taking a 3D approach, if you're only working just with maybe an energy or frequency and not considering all three, there's a piece missing. And once all of these three pieces click, random synchronicities, miracles, clients out of know, all the things get to happen, all the things in the coolest of ways. Okay. We have to remember that choices are portals into new timelines, okay? So if we're not experiencing anything new, it's because we're making the same choices, right? And we're making the choices off of our old program, and there's no shame ever. Don't ever shame yourself or get yourself in the, how come I haven't done this? Why am I still in the blah, 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 all that stuff. There's no room for that. If you're creating that storyline in your mind, you're creating resistance in your own reality. So we're letting go of the shame, because maybe that is the thing, or we're letting go of the stories of how come I'm still here, whatever it is. And we're going to figure out, get super conscious around the decisions I've been making, and know that the ones that are paired with fear are the ones that are going to have you land in new timelines. We often misinterpret fear for something that's not aligned because we're feelers. But fear is the portal. Fear is like the key that's going to unlock the portal you need to step through it and make friends with it, because it's the unknown. You have to be in the unknown in order to experience change. You have to. So allow the fear to calibrate you. If you're like, oh my God, I need to do this, it's scary. Allow yourself to be in the calibration of fear, because that's a portal opening. And when you choose to step through it, you're going to land in a new timeline. But oftentimes we feel fear and we dip the toe back out and boom, a land in the same place we were. And we use the excuse of it wasn't aligned because it felt scary to justify needing to be back in our comfort zone again. Have we all been there? I have. But I can tell you, I have put myself in the scariest and the craziest positions from a place of alignment, okay? Because I knew it was aligned. But I knew the decision was required. I felt the alignment of the decision, and the choice was required, which is opening the portal, and then stepping through it lands you in the new timeline. I've made the craziest decisions from alignment, right? From alignment. Alignment means it's like a soul knowing, not people are going to think I'm successful if I do this, or I'm going to get significance. It's not you chasing something external to make you feel something. That's not alignment. It's just a knowing that this is going to get me to the next layer. Can you feel the difference between those things? Yeah. This is the thing that's going to get me to the new place of abundance and freedom. This is the thing. It feels scary, but I'm going to choose it anyway. That is the way I got to Necker Island with Richard Branson. That was one of the scariest decisions I've ever made up until this point. I had a very short amount of time, but I felt the peace in it. It was weird. But then the fear. The holy shit. Okay. Point number 2. So you have to choose beyond your reality, basically. Choose beyond your reality. That's how you land in a new reality. We're not programmed or hardwired to do this. However, we're going to talk a little bit more about programming and hardwiring tomorrow. So I'll give you some tools to help transcend that. So choose beyond your current reality. Your current reality is never going to be like, here are the perfect circumstances. Now you can go. Never will it be the case. You have to choose beyond the bank balance sometimes. You have to choose whatever it is. I mean, I'm not ever telling you to make a decision that's going to wind you up in more scarcity. That's not a good idea either. But I've built my muscles of trust and divine knowing so well that I know when I make an aligned decision, but my reality is saying, how are you ever going to pull this off? I know if it's aligned, it's going to pull itself off. So when I made the decision to go to Necker Island, for example, guys, random clients came at it, it pulled itself off. It all just pulled itself off because I trusted and I felt and I knew the divine knowing your soul saying, come on, it's over here. Come on, human, follow the soul. But the human gets programmed to be in safety and in fear and to not die. So it's always looking out for danger. It's our reticular activating system. If it's switched on for danger, that's all we're going to see is danger. If we switch our reticular activating system to look for possibilities and be in divine knowing, then we will get the signs. And it'll be, okay, we're going to do this. That's more of the psychology aspect of this, the more the 3D aspect of the multidimensional. All right, remember we create our world within a world. Point 2. Gosh, you guys loved this one. So we create a world within a world, and the reason why we feel powerless is because we look around and we see other people's worlds, and then we plug into that because we think it has to be our world. We give all our power away to everything that's external. Bashar says, we are sifting through. Here's the thing. And I think I said this yesterday. My mind, it's hard to wrap my ego around quantum possibilities. We're sifting through timelines 1 billion times per second, which means there are limitless parallel realities that we can land in. What lands us in those parallel realities are belief systems around what is possible. Do you get chills when you hear me say that? Talk about quantum discernment. So it's like our belief, here are all these parallel realities, and here are belief systems scanning, going, we are deserving and worthy of this. Boom, this is where we're going to land. And we base that off of what we witness in other people's worlds, what we've seen other people do, other people's failures, maybe other people's successes as well. And then we plug that into our programming, and then that's what will land us in the parallel realities. But unplug from that, get super aware of what you've plugged in that's making you feel uncomfortable, that's making you feel limited, because it's not your true self. It's not your truth. There are no truths. You get to decide what your own truths are based on quantum discernment. And then we don't hold on to the justifications, because they're the hooks. They're the hooks. All right. And then goals versus vision, right? The vision is your soul giving you a peek into the timeline that is there. I say a goal is like a 3D thing that you're always chasing something external. You give all your power away. You're not living in alignment. You give all your life force away because it's a means to an end. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and it feels heavy. So we're in the vision, because the vision is our highest timeline and our soul's knowing. We're devoted to our vision, not being committed to a result or a goal, which is how you enslave yourself. So knowing the difference between those two things. All of these 3 points, by the way, when embodied, are enough to turn the dial enough to have your whole trajectory of your reality shift in the craziest of ways. So some of you are wondering, how do I really tap into my vision? I don't know what it is, and that's okay. The reason you don't know what it is because you have too much resistance happening right now in your current physicality. Too much resistance in your physicality, and I'm going to show you why there is resistance in your physicality and how to let that go. So when you release the resistance, this is where clarity comes in. Your visions and your desires are all there, but there's too much resistance. And if you're in resistance, you can't see the wood for the trees, and that's okay. And I also want you to know, I want you to hold this knowing, okay? Quantum discernment, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm going to just restate this again. There are no truths in the universe. There are no truths. There are just laws, the laws of gravity, laws of creation, all of those things. Those are unchangeable, but there are no truths. So what I want you to do again is take the information I give you. It's a vibration, right? The information's a vibration. Have it move into your body, which is the organ of truth. Does what I tell you expand your cells? And if it does, it's because it's aligned with your higher truth. Your body will make you feel expanded. You get that little excited butterfly and you're like, yes, that is a truth. Oh my God, Sarah, I feel like I already know what you're saying. And you do, because it's already a truth within you. It's just activating in your consciousness. So take what I'm telling you, discern if it's a truth. Even if your mind's like, ooh, I don't know about that, but it feels good in my body, it's a truth. Okay. So here's what I want to say. If you don't feel clear right now on your vision, if you don't feel clear on your desire, I also want you to maybe tune into the fact that maybe right now everything is happening exactly how it's meant to. It's supposed to be like that right now. Because I can tell you one thing, there's nothing more powerful than a leader. You guys are all here because you're meant to be leaders, powerful light leaders. You guys are all light beings. You're meant to step into this place of light leadership. There's nothing more powerful to me than a leader being able to say, I've been there too. I know what it feels like to not have direction, to not feel where my true north is. I know what that feels like. There's nothing more powerful than that. Because that means you get to walk amongst your people and to be in true compassion and empathy for what they go through. It's supposed to be this way. So the mere idea that it's supposed to be this way releases resistance. The mere idea that maybe you're not supposed to know, it releases the resistance. And the weirdest thing happens. You start to figure, it all starts to land. So if we're like in this desperation to figure it out, we actually push it further away. It's supposed to be this way. I want you to tune into that from a heart space. I'm being calibrated right now to be in true empathy and to be in true compassion for what my souls go through, the souls that I'm meant to lead. And it's supposed to be this way. So blessed and honored that my soul is giving me the calibration to be able to walk amongst my people. True light leaders walk amongst their people. You guys are true light leaders. So it's supposed to be this way. You're not supposed to know right now. And when you are supposed to know, it will land, and it will land in the most potent and powerful way. Okay, so let's start releasing the resistance, because this is where the access is to the potential. So here is the thing. The vision is there. The desire is there. I want you to be honest with yourself. Like I always say this when I'm coaching people. If our coaching session was a magic genie, and you could speak everything that you want to experience, what would that be? What would that be? That's the thing. So when I was a kinesiologist, a very interesting thing would always happen. It was, and I teach this in the quantum coach certification. You ask someone, I always say, okay, what do you want? What is it that you want for yourself? What do you want? And the immediate response was everyone telling me everything they didn't want. And it was, so I could see immediately their programming. Oh, I don't want this. I really don't want to be. And I'm like, okay, this is why you're here right now, because you've locked yourself in a loop, a subconscious loop of recognizing and activating frequencies of everything you don't want. Because when I asked you what you do want, you had no idea. You just went to everything you didn't want. So now we get to reprogram all that, by the way, because subconsciously you subconsciously will call in everything you want, but we've not been programmed to do that. We've activated our reticular activating system to keep us alive. It's like a primal instinct, right? And it's just sifting through everything we don't want, because we think if we sift through it and we can see it, we can avoid it. But that's not how energy works, guys. Energy works in the opposite way, which is why I say we've been programmed to work against ourselves. We've been programmed to reject freedom. Pretty wild, right? So we need to understand how to work with frequency, not against it. So what do you want? Be honest with yourself. Let yourself fucking accept your desires. Truly. You're telling yourself you don't know what your vision is, but it's because you haven't allowed yourself to fully accept your desire, and it's probably because you don't feel you're worthy of them. This is not quantum discernment. This is not your highest truth. If you don't feel worthy of them, know you're supposed to feel that, because you are meant to unlock the codes of not feeling worthy, so you can reverse engineer that for other people. It's supposed to be that way as well. So accept that and be like, oh my gosh, these are the codes that I get to unlock. Reverse engineer energetically, so I can walk amongst my people and be like, oh my gosh, I'm just like Melanie. She's helping me. I'm just like Kim. I'm just like oh my gosh, why does it feel like Melanie's speaking directly to me? Because you've embodied it. You've unlocked the codes of not feeling connected to it or worthy of it or whatever, and reverse engineered it and shifted out of it. And now you can be an embodied leader. It's supposed to be this way. So just know that. Okay. So number one, we have been programmed to work against ourselves as energetic creators. So again, there's no shame in this. It's supposed to be this way. We don't want to poo-poo the programming either, because that creates more resistance, doesn't it? So I'm just going to move you guys to the top of the screen. There we go. Oh, that's better. I can see you and I can see my slides. This is what I call the 4D aspect of quantum coaching, by the way. This is like the 4D. It's the 4D I say, and this is my interpretation. There's probably a million different definitions, but I use my own language. So you have the 5D quantum, the quantum timelines, understanding how time operates, which isn't linear. That's a whole other topic. And I see the 4D as you, as the energetic being connecting you from the 5D to the 3D reality. So we need to understand the energy. Okay. We need to understand the connection points and how our energy speaks to the quantum, which channels through us, which lands in the 3D. So let's understand what this gap is from the frequency perspective. Because the programming, again, like I said, is having us work against the quantum, our deepest connection to source. So we've been programmed to reject freedom. Step one, to releasing resistance. So when you release resistance, what happens is your channel opens up. And this is where the desires are already there. The vision is there, but you're in this resistance. You can't see the wood for the trees and receive it. So we've been programmed to block all this off. Step one is to accept everything that is. Surrender to what is right now, because we're not meant to know. Everything that is supposed to be this way. But I want to explain why we don't do this. Okay. We're programmed to navigate physicality. We're programmed to navigate this physical reality, right? So in physical reality, if we didn't want something close to us, like if this was dangerous, we'd physically push it away from us, right? And then physicality would move it physically further from me. And that's how we're programmed to navigate. In the energetic world, it's the opposite. Okay? In the energetic world, it's the opposite. So for example, if I don't like this is a program, let's say this is an energetic program, and I'm pushing against it because I don't want it in my reality. I don't want to be lost. I don't want to be this person that I don't want. Instead of moving it further away because that's what we think is going to happen, because we've been programmed to navigate physicality, we keep reactivating. We keep reactivating that program. I don't want. We think that if we say we don't want, we push it away, but we keep reactivating. So when you accept it, contrary to how we think we're meant to navigate things, when we accept everything that is, it just passes through because it loses all energetic momentum and it has to dissipate. It has to shift. So accepting everything that is the quickest way to release all resistance in your reality. Your bank account, accept everything that is. How do you do this? You look at the meanings that you've given everything. Sometimes the meanings will not allow you to accept it. You're making the bank account balance mean that A, B, C, D. How am I meant to accept this? Stop making it mean that. Remove the meanings away from it, and then it becomes neutral. We live in a meaningless reality. We experience our reality through the stories we create and the meanings we give things. When you get to a place of neutrality, because you've released the meanings and you've accepted what is, resistance goes and your channel opens. And all of a sudden, possibilities start landing, ideas, clarity, all the things. But you've riddled yourself in too many meanings based on the evidence distortion. Do you remember yesterday what the evidence distortion is? It's the evidence of your physical reality. You're looking at your bank balance and it's evidence of the scarcity programs you've been running. But you look at it and you see the evidence and you continue to perpetuate it because it's evidence. That's physical reality. It's the opposite of the energetic world, right? So unplug yourself from the evidence. Stop making the evidence mean whatever. I'm in scarcity. I'm in lack. I'm not worthy or whatever. Unplug the meaning and you stop perpetuating and you clear resistance and weird opportunities come in. And all of a sudden you're here with Sarah learning all these weird, crazy, wonderful things. See, this is evidence that you guys are already shifting, by the way. So we are programmed to reject freedom because we keep perpetuating density, because we think that if we keep poking at it and saying we don't want it, it's going to move away. But it keeps reactivating it. So we have to invite it in. Like, cool, I'm accepting this. This is how it's supposed to be. I'm being calibrated. Great. Come in. Let's have a cup of tea. What are you here to teach me? Instead of making it mean all of these things. That wraps up this week's episode of the Quantum Business Queen podcast. We're going to carry on talking about this next week. We're going to go even deeper. So you guys don't want to miss this. It's going to all click into place. And when you really take these concepts and embody them, this is where your life and your business gets to go to the next level. I cannot wait to see you next week. And until then, stay magic. Thank you so much for listening today, beautiful soul. I hope you got so much gold and were activated in such a way that you could step into your highest timeline of abundance and freedom, because it is more than possible for you. If that desire has been planted in your soul, it is so deliberate. If you wouldn't mind, please rate, review, subscribe to this podcast so that we can get this message into the hearts and ears of more amazing light beings across the world. I would love to continue this conversation with you, so feel free to get in touch on Instagram at sarah.tynan.quantumcoach. If you're a Facebook person, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Sarah Tynan International. And please don't ever forget, if your desire is there, it's because your destiny is there too. You just have to remember who you are. Bye for now, beautiful.